Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Micks Mowers, and in today's video we're doing mower number 3 out of the job lot of 8, and I think it's a little Sovereign, plastic Sovereign. I think it's got a SV or RV 150 engine, I may be wrong. It's a complete non-starter. It fired with petrol down the head, so the engine is good, but why it's not starting I have no idea, but we'll soon figure it out. I'm sure it may be good, it may be just good for parts. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty and let's check out this little Sovereign lawnmower. Right, and here it is. This one, it doesn't need a new fuel cap, that's for certain. And I'll show you some loads of spares of those because it has got a crack in it. I don't think it's gone all the way through yet. I don't think, no, it hasn't all the way through yet, that's no good. No fuel at all in this one, so let's put some juice in it and see what we get. I'm not put too much in case it leaks out the bottom. And the advantage of these is no rust on these plastic little decks. That's the advantage. Not leaking as of yet, but there is some fuel remnants there. Let's give it some primes. That's so hard to tell if that's actually priming or not. It doesn't feel like it is. Let's try and give it a pull, see what happens. Nothing at all. Okay, let's get her indoors and see what's occurring. Okay, back indoors now. Let's take the grass box off. So there's grass in the grass box. So it was running up to relative recently, but it's not running now. It's got an air filter on it. That's always a positive sign. It smells old, is what it smells of. It smells of rancid fuel. Let me grab my D-walt and we'll take this carburetor off. Right, what we got there is a 12mm. I want a 10. Okay, cool. Magnet tray. Let's see what we got here. Carburetor's all come loose. Airbox is off. Got a gasket on it, that's good to see. Let me get my forceps. I'll take that little spring off if I can get it off. Oh, that's stuck right behind there somewhere. There it is. Oh, get a pair of snips. Just loosen that off. I'm running low on long nose pliers. Seem to have lost my red pair, my old faithful, so I think about time I went onto Amazon and picked myself up a decent set of extra long reach ones because I'm struggling to find my bits. I don't know where my red ones have gone. So that's my next present to myself, a decent set of long nose pliers, because I can't function without them. Do you know what? I have to edit this bit out. That's well on there. Come off. There it goes. I'll give that a twist with the old pliers. Let's block it off first so we don't get a lot of fuel loss. Off that comes. Simple tip forward motion and off comes the carburetor. Now bearing in mind this has got fresh fuel in it, so that shouldn't be a problem for us fuel wise, but just the first lot I want to see what colour that is. Yeah, that's really good fuel. Yeah, nice and clean, so that fuel can be kept. That's not a problem. The problem's going to be in here. I don't think we're getting any fuel through this at all. In fact, the little tiny primer has got no pipe going from the primer bulb to the primer. That's missing, not here, so that could be one of our issues. Let's get the lawnmower off, have a quick look inside this carburetor, because it may not be a problem with that. It may not be getting no fuel up priming it, and that is working, but there's no pipe there. So let's get it out of the way. Nice and light, this one. I just want to see what condition this carburetor's in. New rag. Let's just have a little gander in here. Oh dear, that doesn't look very good. Yeah, that fuel was a bit, I can smell it from here. Yeah, nasty, nasty, nasty fuel, nasty bowl. That's got to come out. You can see how yellow the fuel is. So this will be another bath job. Let's get some carburetor spray just down that main hole, just to give that half a chance. And up through there. This carburetor's really bad. There's one in there, I'll take that out as well. One and a half. If you could smell this fuel, I tell you, absolutely shocking. I didn't think it'd be that bad. I thought it might just be that primer. And in fact, it's not. Let's run that through there. Yeah, it's running. We've got a main jet up here as well, which has got to come out. Oh, that's really thin. I guess. Wish they all came out like that. Unfortunately, they don't. Bit of gunk in there too, I can see. So it's this main one here I've got to take out. I'm going to try and change screwdrivers. It looks slightly wider than what my one's made for. Let's try this one. It's got a good fit on it. That's got it or not. Don't think it has. Oh no, it has. I think the other one was just slightly too narrow. I didn't want to ruin it. There's a main jet. I don't want to get the tube out if it had come out. I don't always on these ones. It should do. If I bash it hard enough. There it goes. There's a tube, and yeah, that's all gunked up. You can see it is really badly gunked up. And the main one, yeah, there's a bit of daylight through there. Nothing excessive though. Let's see if that improves it. Yeah, I think I'll file that one out though. Bit of cleaning to go on in on the main bowl. With me little wire brush. I know what you're thinking. You've got an ultrasonic cleaner there, Mick. Why aren't you using it? Well, this is just to help out. I should give it a bath in a second. This is just to try and get rid of some of this deep stuff, if I can. That's a bit better. Okay, I'll give that a bit of a clean as well, because they're all blocked. There's two running. Still got some not running here. They're running now, but these two aren't up here. Still not running. Try and block some holes up. Still not running. So I need to put through them because they're not running at all. Got the main jet out, super happy with that. That was going to be the main problem. So now this entire carburetor is now running. I'll put it in the bath, give that 15 minutes and I'll come back. Right, that's had 15 minutes at 6 degrees. It's just around 56 to 55, and as you can see again, the water is cloudy. It's very hot. Let me turn that off. Let's have that up. Hopefully I've got all the needles in place. Let's bring that over to the cloth. And we'll go from there. There's some bits of dirt in there I can see, which is good. Okay. Carburetor, float and bowl. Put that there for now. I should have one tube, one main jet, one fuel float, one needle. Yeah, that's all there. And that isn't much cleaner now what it was. Happy with that. Yeah, that's spotless. It's the tube I was more concerned about. But I can see daylight through all of those holes. Yeah, all of those. Yeah, daylight all the way through. That's all I want to see. And that's good as well. Yeah, so that's good. Just gonna get my air compressor, just blow off any residual fluid that's inside here, just get it clean, and we'll put it back together. Okay, that's that all now done. It's just blown out. Tube goes in, main jet in, and I use a slightly bigger screwdriver than I for that one. Still a bit residual on here, but that'd be nothing to worry about. I could get the wire brush on it maybe, just to see if it comes off. Yeah, it will do. I can give it a clean. Okay, float and needle, that goes into there. That just sits on top, and my pin is over here in the magnet tray. I can get hold of it. Goes all the way through. Just want to reseat that main jet, make sure it's down, which it is. That's not letting no fuel through. Nothing at all. So that's not good. That's working. Let's just give that a bit of a clean. Sometimes it is literally just the minute of stuff on these needles that won't allow it to lift. And I mean absolutely minute. Let's run some WD-40 through it. Let's try that again. It wasn't letting anything through. It is now. Literally can be it can be minute for those. That goes on. So we want this to be about there. 2 bolts to put on. Once this is on, I'm going to try it again to try and just get that float to work, just to be sure. Yes. No. Yes. No. That's working. 10mm, which I did have to hand earlier. Well, lots of 13s, my 10s seem to be running loose on me, which is weird because they're the most commonly used one. As I say, it's time for a bit of a sort out. That doesn't want to be too tight because I want to get to that later on. Right, what have we got here? This one goes in there. And I think we said 2, didn't we? I'm going to check it on the video if it's not quite right. But they're generally between 2 and 2.5. It's a bit too big for that. So we'll go 2 1/4. It's going to be about there, it's seated. One, just bring the carburetor back into play. That very simply hooks onto that little tiny clip there. That goes on. Now next thing I want to do before I go any further is hook up a piece of pipe for that primer. Now that I assume goes that way, does it? Yeah, it goes that way. So I've got a bit of spare hose here, and a bit of black hose, that should do it. Let's get some snips. This is one thing it was missing, was a little bit of hose, just enough to run between the two. I'm hoping that's going to be enough to do it. So we've got a bit of hose to go on there, which fits on beautifully, and also go around, onto that, so it wants to be cut about there, should be fine. And let's just try and fit that onto there first. If I can, without breaking anything, 'cause it's all plastic. Let me try. This is fiddly. Let me take that off of there first. Take that carburetor back off, just for now. Let me fit that on there first then. That's going onto the back of a primer. It didn't have anything on there at all. Yeah, that's working. I think that was the main issue with this lawnmower, was that it didn't actually have a fuel line. So it's a little bit long, so we can afford to go a bit shorter. That'll go on. That all goes on. Yeah, that's priming. That wasn't before. So now we can hook up the fuel, because you won't be able to get to that once the fuel is once the carburetor is connected. Get me a little clip. I've got to fight with this now for 3 hours. Now all on with the gasket. Your bolts go all the way through the carburetor, and just before it goes all the way home and onto the carb, like so, you just got to put your finger in here and hook up the back of the air pipe, the air breather. That's what go on, and you just loosely nick up those bolts with your socket or whatever you've got to hand. That's one. Two. In fact, I'm going to slacken that off, because I like to get that third one in first, which is your little 10mm. That goes right up here, because that's the one that's awkward to line up the most. Once that one's in place, put the other ones in. like so. So now I just want to double check with my torch to see if that is actually priming inside the carburetor, which does need charging, to be fair. Yeah, I can see fuel being squirted out there. Yeah, it's getting nice and wet inside the carburetor, so that's working. And it wasn't beforehand, was it? Air filter goes back in. They're running fine, so just give them a good brush off, and that'll be fine. So don't forget, I'm doing these mowers on the cheap. That one goes on there. Right, that's all back together. All I'm going to do now is double check the oil, make sure the oil's fine. Have a quick look underneath, check the blade. If the blade is sharpening, I should do the blade, and top the oil up if required, and then we'll try and give it a run. Okay, so I found a nice little cover to go on top off a Champion, took the sticker off, and that sits on top lovely. And another fuel cap there. I don't know if it's quite good enough yet, I need to find some more maybe. It goes on, but it may leak, I need to test it out yet. HT leads on, all had to be topped up, but we'll give it a go, see what happens. Not actually stopping the engine. It's that what it's looking at. It's not actually going to stop the engine unless I push it forward. It may just want a bit of grease on there. I didn't check the micro switch, but that'll be next. Yeah, just not quite stopping it, so just got to repair it very quickly. It may be. It could just be dirt and grime in there. Let's have a little look. See what's occurring. Yeah, just not quite clearing that. So you can hear it click when it opens, but not when it goes back. So technically that's on, because it hasn't clicked back out again. Click it in is off, that's on, and it's not clicking back. So all we're going to do with that literally is to put a bend into this, just to make that distance a bit greater. You can't adjust these on the back edge. They're bolted down, and you can't adjust the throw on those any more than what it already is. I don't believe so anyway, which is a shame, because as you can see, if I pull that open, it clicks, then release it, and then literally just push it forward a touch, it will then break. I heard it click just then. Still on, off. So that's what's occurring there. So I'm just going to bend that up a touch, just so it makes a much better contact when it closes. So if it is actually a micro switch failure, I do actually have spare switches I can use off of other engines. But it's going to be quite tricky just to get in there, just to bend that to how I want it. I want to literally just put another little bend in that, just so it opens up. It's a bit more fierce. Somewhere there maybe. On, off, on, off. And that's it. That's all it needed. Hopefully, if it works. It was just ever so slightly out. Okay, back outside. Shouldn't need to prime it, it's been running for quite a while. So just have to see if the engine actually stops now. Good to go. I'll just run it up for 10 minutes, make sure it's got no other issues. I might put a new plug in this as well now I've done the oil, just to make sure it runs smoothly, and then that'll be done. Okay, so that's that little Sovereign lawnmower. I think it's got the SV150 engine on top. I don't mind the SV150s. I know some people don't like working on them because they are finicky with the idling, and they do tend to hunt a little bit. That one is still smoking a little tiny bit, but as I say, it's not been run for a little while, I dare say. Well, we don't know, it could be sat in a shed for 4 years for all I know. But it's not hunting at all. It's doing a good job, and I do believe, I mean, people have their own theories, right? And I think my theory is that little tiny screw on the front of a carburettor where the little tiny fine holes are, I believe if that's cleaned out, that decreases the hunting by 50%. Works. It was just ever so slightly out. Okay, back outside. Shouldn't need to prime it, it's been running for quite a while. So just have to see if the engine actually stops now. Good to go. I'll just run it up for 10 minutes, make sure it's got no other issues. I might put a new plug in this as well now I've done the oil, just to make sure it runs smoothly, and then that'll be done. Okay, so that's that little Sovereign lawnmower. I think it's got the SV150 engine on top. I don't mind the SV150s. I know some people don't like working on them because they are finicky with the idling, and they do tend to hunt a little bit. That one is still smoking a little tiny bit, but as I say, it's not been run for a little while, I dare say. Well,